Hey guys, it's Rebecca here with my May 2020 Plan With Me bullet journal setup. It's hard to believe that May is almost here, which means that we're a third of the way through 2020. I'm actually kind of bummed out right now because I was supposed to be hopping on a plane to California this coming weekend for the BTS Map of the Soul concert. So instead, I've been listening to BTS songs on repeat, which includes Sweet Night from the Itaewon Class OST. Sweet Night was written and sung by one of the sweetest, most funny, and most adorable members of BTS, Kim Taehyung. I am obsessed with how raw and real Taehyung's voice sounds. It's also really soothing and sweet, kind of like a warm hug, you know? If you haven't heard it yet, I'll be sure to link it down below. Jumping right in, I tried out watercoloring for the first time ever. Shout out to my roommate for letting me borrow her watercolor paint, brushes, and paper. Literally everything you see right now is from her. I am by no means great at watercoloring, but it was really fun. I started out by brushing water over the page because I was told it helps to blend the paint. Then I used a lot of blacks and grays to make the night sky, and then blues and black to make the water. Here I used some yellows and a little bit of orange paint for the moon. We'll be using origami boats as the ships in the night, so here I'm drawing them out. Here I traced a circle for the moon and cut it out. And now we have a moon. Then I cut out the boats and went back in with a fine liner to fix the borders I accidentally cut off. I wasn't being super accurate when cutting the water because I wanted it to have the feeling of waves. Now it's time to glue it all together. Then I cut it out in the shape of a cloud to be the big dream bubble, and used the scraps of the water to make some more bubbles. After, it was really just a matter of gluing everything down and placing it where I wanted. I was thinking about the lyrics, "On My Pillow, Can't Get Me Tired," and also, "Guess We Were Ships in the Night." I thought it'd be really cute to make the ships origami boats, and I wanted to have someone dreaming up the scene with the ships. I decided not to do a whole monthly spread because I don't really use my monthly calendar that much, plus all of my plans are kind of up in the air right now. I juggled the idea of drawing a person sleeping, but in the end I decided to go with this cute little bear on a phone. I'll link this below, but I actually drew the bear based off of a GIF that I saw online where the bear is on his phone but then slowly falls asleep. As this bear is drifting off, I wanted him to start dreaming about the ships in the night. Plus we all know that a bear kind of represents Taehyung too from his song Winter Bear. I colored in the bear and chose to make the blanket purple because purple is one of my favorite colors and it also has a special meaning to BTS and their fans. I went around and outlined the cloud, and you'll see that I was actually drawing really quickly and not paying attention, so I accidentally drew over the cloud. But you know, sometimes when you make mistakes, you just have to roll with it. I went back in later to add some more lines and shadows to the cloud, and see, you can barely tell it was a mistake. finished it off with some decorations using my Sakura white jelly roll to make stars in the night sky and on the blanket, and placed washi tape around the calendar. To be honest, the stars in the night sky ended up looking more like snow, but I still really like it. This is probably my favorite cover that I've done so far this year. It took a lot of time, but it was really relaxing and a lot of fun planning. You know the drill by now for the expense tracker. I didn't really use it that much last month, but I still want to keep this consistent, so I don't see myself changing this tracker for a while. Moving on to the habit tracker, I decided to make all of the trackers into pillows. I made the outlines different colors and used a lighter shade of the same color to make the stripes inside the pillow. But I made the mistake of deciding to write out the days of the month, so we're going to skip through that really quickly. I finished it off with writing the lyrics, "On my pillow, can't get me tired." Like last month, I kind of figured that I probably won't need that much space for my weekly spreads as we're still spending it in quarantine. So I opted for doing a 2-week spread, but I really liked how the colors on this page turned out. In the bottom corner, I decided to draw the opened window that is mentioned in the song with some origami boats in the sea. I topped it off with some music notes going out the window to fill the open air. Next, I drew a bigger origami boat and wrote the lyrics, "Guess we were ships in the night." The phrase "ships in the night" tends to be used to describe people who pass but can never be together, but the promising thing about this lyric is that it puts ships in the night in the past, meaning that before the two people couldn't be together, but now they can. Especially because in the lyrics it says, "But I had already reached the shore." I feel like this was a really accurate description for the relationship between the leads in the drama. On the last page, I was actually a little ambitious and tried to squeeze as many of the lyrics as I could into that space. The lyrics were just too beautiful, and I just loved them so much. This song really tugs at your heartstrings for a couple of reasons. The first being that Tae is best friends with Park Seo-joon, who is the lead in Itaewon Class. To me, the song is a gift of comfort to Park Seo-joon's character, wishing that despite the countless painful nights he's had in the past, that he'll only have sweet nights in the future. Also, I would definitely recommend watching Itaewon Class. Park Seo-joon's acting is amazing, and I really like the friendships that formed and grew on screen. Personally, I thought all of the characters were well thought out, and they all had different personalities and reasonings for their actions. It's a revenge and corruption drama, but overall I really enjoyed it. I hope by now you've listened to Sweet Night. The song truly gave a sense of yearning and hope for the future, which is something I think we all need a little bit of still. Remember that life is sweeter with people in it, so don't forget to text someone that you've been meaning to text for a while. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!